Hi, Tantric travelers. Welcome to your pick a card reading for today. I am observing and enjoying a beautiful winter storm outside of this window and watching the trees stir the wind or the wind stir the trees and the snowflakes fly, and it's very romantic and white and sparkling and graceful, and it inspired me. The state of the elements have inspired me to offer a special reading today. The title of your pick a card reading today, the end of which I will also offer an augury. So I will throw some charms for the 3 different piles. So the title of this pick a card reading is What is Your Erotic Alchemy? And this can call up a lot of different elements, ingredients, processes. It could be what you embody, what you work with, what you contain in order to elevate your mundane physical existence into a higher state. And of course, this is an adult-only reading, and I'm speaking about erotic alchemy in, yes, sexual terms, as well as creative and spiritual terms. So I'm not really sure what's going to be gifted us today as I channel these 3 different readings, 3 different piles, but I think it's going to be interesting. As always, this topic came to me in an unexpected flash, so I take that as a request from the divine realm and your guides, angelic alliance, and your kind, wise ancestors, your higher selves, that it's the right time to do this. So let's do it. So today, the 3 piles, which I've already shuffled each of these 3 decks, and I'm going to simply lay them out and randomly draw from each of them. But in order for you to choose, I have matched them with some charms. So the first pile is the Silver Moon charm. Very beautiful. The second pile is the Triple Goddess moon charm. Looks like amber with onyx beads, the triple moon. And the third pile is what I'm going to call the Ivory moon. It is not made out of ivory, but it is probably made out of bone. It looks like bone. I'm not sure whose bone, but this is a very powerful Dianic symbol. And the Ivory moon is for pile number 3. Okay? Perfect. So let's start with the Silver Moon pile. And as I said, I've already shuffled these decks, and I'm going to spread the cards out and draw your tarot cards to answer the question, what is your erotic alchemy? For the Silver Moon subscribers and viewers, what is your erotic alchemy? For Silver Moon viewers and subscribers, what is your erotic alchemy? Kind, wise, highest guides operating in unconditional love and infinite light, goddesses, archangelic alliance, ancestors, highest selves of my dear subscribers and viewers, for those who chose the Silver Moon pile. What is your erotic alchemy? The Hierophant, the Devil, the Mountain, the Eight of Earth, or the Eight of Pentacles. Fascinating. There's some power energy here, and I mean that literally, because Silver Moon, viewers and subscribers, there are 2 major arcana cards out of your 3. The Hierophant, which is number 5, and the Devil, which is number 15, so you've got 2 5s. Hierophant is major arcana, and so is the Devil. So I'm seeing some similarities even in the structure of the figures in these cards. You can see that there's a large being in the center and 2 smaller beings in both cards on either side, and they look like they are under the control, perhaps, or under the rulership of the Devil and the Hierophant, which is also known as the High Priest. So that's a very interesting mirroring which is occurring in your erotic alchemy, and I think you are really working with the energies of the sort of lowest vibrational aspects of your psyche and the collective psyche and the psyche of your lovers and partners, as well as the highest spiritual attainments that can occur in your erotic experiences. And you could be really interested in playing both sides of that. And by that I mean delving into the darker bondage aspects of sexual play. You can see there's some chains here. There's a man and a woman who are in bondage to this sort of goat-like figure whose nipples are those hypnotic spirals. So this is something that is feeding your psyche, and this is this kind of energy of not having a choice or being under the power of another person or aspect of yourself, or even societal aspects. So this could be, about the politics of day-to-day life, and how it turns you on and nourishes you and releases and relaxes you to play with those in the waking public world, as well as in the privacy or publicity of your sexual life. and your erotic experiences. So, when we're talking about power, this can be feelings of being empowered, overpowered, or subjected, and the different levels of arousal that can occur by being in any of these positions, those of the enslaved and those of the slavers or controllers. And these realities of the material realm, or what feel like realities in the material realm, can also guide us to understand in the erotic or the sexual realm that we are not enslaved, or to what degree we may be enslaved or bound to others. This can be everything from your employer-employee relationships. It can be marriage and romantic partnerships. It can be parental and child interactions, and all of the things that occur in our society which may or may not empower us to understand ourselves as sovereign, free beings, or the opposite of that. So this is, really delving into and trying to understand better the dynamics of enslavement and the dynamics of bondage and entrapment and freedom. So it's very fascinating, and it looks like part of your erotic alchemy is playing with those in the extreme conditions of possibly BDSM, bondage, sadism, masochism. What's the other part? Domination. So this is Capricorn energy, and it is very connected to the material realm and the possible limitations of the material realm, the possible bonuses of sexuality and domination and submission in all aspects of life, including in the bedroom. And it also may have some connection to a material interaction or relationship, meaning the relationship between money and sexuality. So this could entail a turn on which has something to do with so-called prostitution or pornography that you or someone else is getting paid for or paying for. So very interesting. And the last part of what I was just channeling in regards to the Devil card is the Eight of Pentacles, and I feel that this is also related to the eroticism of money and power. So it could be that the work that you're doing on a day-to-day basis either contributes to or detracts from your feelings of being a powerful person in your life and in the world. And the pentacles normally also have to do with material experience and often with money, success, work. So there is some erotic value for you in exploring your relationship to money and your appearance and position as a worker in the world, and maybe even trying to get to the top, like those old questions of what did you have to do to get to the top? Could also have to do with being on top versus being on bottom, and it could have to do with the power and pleasure of being a switch and a witch. But the switch of either being the dominant or submissive partner in a sexual dynamic. And this is looking like, okay, so maybe there's a perception of being a top in your waking day-to-day worker world life, but maybe that dynamic gets flipped on its head and submission is really where your kicks are at once you are given the space, the time, and the partners to explore this dynamic. In addition to that, we have the High Priest, the Hierophant, the Pope, sometimes this is called. And you can see here these two figures with their heads covered that look kind of like feminine, one in dark and one in golden attire, are sitting at the feet and at each hand, the left and the right, of this larger-than-life figure, who is sometimes represented in the tarot as the god Jupiter or Zeus, is also called the Pope, and is really the masculine attainment and embodiment of spiritual power. And everything that I just channeled regarding the devil can be placed onto the template, so of the higher vibrational experience of what was just channeled for the devil. So as above, so below. The same as, being the dominant or the submissive. If we're talking about Tantra, it is the material experience which leads to spiritual ecstasy. And it's strange because the High Priest is 5, but the devil is 15. Why is the devil at a more advanced, in the Greater Arcana, numerical position than the High Priest? Good question. There is a lot of power, a lot of masculine power, and I think there's also some questions arising in your erotic alchemical process regarding your masculine energy and what detriment or benefit the embodiment of masculine power can have in your individual experience and also in your position in the world. And that could be as a boss, that could be as an employee, that could be as a spiritual teacher or advisor, that could be as a husband or wife, that could be as a parent. And I'm not referring to any kind of inappropriate activity as a parent in an erotic way with children or as an adult. I am not referring to that, so please don't misunderstand me. But I'm certain that we are all aware as mature people that our experiences as children do have an effect and can provide mapping to a certain extent of our psychological landscape, which leads us to our sexual experiences. So this is all being referred to in the Hierophant energy and in your erotic alchemical process. Again, I feel that there's kind of a switch energy. So I feel that for you there has been or may be opportunities to experiment with holding the reins of power or submitting to them. So very interesting energies for you, Silver Moon Pile. I hope that this provided a little bit of insight and stimulation for your late February day, Silver Moons. And I am going to throw charms at the end, so just look for the timestamp below and you will see when the charm throw occurs. And please feel free to go ahead and watch that, as well as any other of the 3 readings today on What is your erotic alchemy? Thank you, Silver Moons. Bye. So now we have the triple moon, which is the triple goddess moon of amber and onyx. So as I said, I've already shuffled, and I'm going to lay the cards out and draw the ingredients of your erotic alchemy triple moon pile. My hand was just magnetized, just literally stopped in its tracks. Ooh. King of Shapeshifters, Dragonfly. That's beautiful. Very loving, emotional energy. Very romantic. Right here. And the Queen of Ancients, or the Queen of Wands. And one more. The Knight of Shapeshifters, Praying Mantis. This is a very romantic group. So the triple moon viewers and subscribers, you got the King of Shapeshifters, Dragonfly, or the King of Cups, the Queen of Ancients, Crocodile, or the Queen of Wands, and the Knight of Shapeshifters, Praying Mantis. This card comes out a lot for me. I don't know why. I feel like this reading group of the triple moon is actually about a relationship. So I feel that there is a very special, very loving and romantic relationship which is occurring in your life or about to occur. And this is for a pair of opposites. So we have the masculine energy, although a very feminine looking image, and an air element, or an element of transformation, which has occurred with this gorgeous dragonfly, paired with this very powerful primal Queen of Wands, Crocodile. So this is, with these wands, it's almost a very masculine looking image. And yet these are paired and are crisscrossing with one another. And I feel that this is an extremely alchemical relationship. I feel that this is possibly a twin flame or a very high vibrational soul relationship which has been transformed many times in your lifetime as you learn and grow as an erotic being, and as you have experimented and healed and created and sculpted yourself as a loving and sexual creation. Your partnerships have evolved and grown as well, and that can mean with one partner, as in a marriage or soul marriage, and it can also mean with a progression of partners where you're almost passing a lifetime with each one of them until you reach some pinnacle of consciousness and gain the ability to maintain your physical forms with one another in a relationship, yet exchange energy in the healing of one another consciously while you do this, and transmute, transform, and alchemize and be reborn through your relationship with one another. So I'm channeling these as energies as well as people, and I feel that this energy can be present in you as a singular individual or can be present in a partnership, the likes of which I have just described. So this is a very deep, ancient, powerful process, and the stage that you are at is this absolutely beautiful fruition of elemental opposites joining together and being joined through a spiritual process of patience and of surrender to a higher aspect of yourselves in order to offer one another this gift of unconditional love, and to sacrifice the aspects of yourselves which haven't served that process or have served that process and are no longer required in order to reach a state of your natural sovereignty and divinity and power and pleasure, in order to come together and be in relationship and to continue your journey together. So it's very, very beautiful and powerful, and I love the fact that this is the crocodile and this is the dragonfly. And as we know, dragonflies are beautiful symbols or energetic carriers of the template of transformation and transmutation. They begin as eggs and nymphs in the water, in lakes and rivers and streams, and eventually they rise to the surface and hatch into airborne creatures who are so beautiful and light and bright symbols of our highest mental and spiritual selves. And we also have the crocodile, which uses the solar power to heat her own blood and to be a transmuter by being a predator of creatures in the water. And she is also renowned as a very powerful maternal energy. Hi, Mew. And this combination is clearly one of high magic and alchemy. And whether you are aware of it or not, you may have spent several lifetimes in preparation and to come to this point of soul marriage with this special person. And you've done that by achieving the pinnacle of patience and discernment in the selection of the qualities that you desire in yourself and the transmutation of those that you do not, in order to draw that equation into your own life with a soul partner. So this is very romantic and beautiful. As far as the purely sexual energy goes, I feel that there is a very beautiful balance in both partners, whether one carries more of the masculine energy and one more of the feminine, But there's a beautiful balance between you. In carrying, I mean, one presents more as a masculine person most of the time, and one as the feminine. But internally and on a soul level and on an elemental level, I believe that both you and your partner are coming into or have come into a state of optimum balance within yourselves, so that your energies, although they are not identical to one another, are very, very complementary and extremely powerful in your union. So, with the Knight of Shapeshifters here, I feel that there is about to be this major transmutation in a union of soul partners. For those of you that selected the triple moon or the triple goddess moon. And the tantric energy, the tantric practices that you have engaged in order to get to this point will be expanded, and you will continue to receive knowledge of instinctively, intuitively, and divinely, in a divinely guided way, of how to progress through this relationship. On the material level, I feel that you are either in union or you're about to come into union. And this is a reminder to you as well that it is your loving heart-to-heart communication. So communicating through the heart from all of your bodies, your spiritual, your mental, your physical, and your very high energetic bodies, which operate in and between all dimensions, that it is through your heart as a sovereign divine human being that this relationship is progressed and will reward you in the giving and receiving of unconditional love and infinite light.